Welcome back to Real Phonies, where we take a love for movies and television and combine it with very little knowledge about movies or television. I'm your host, Christian. Join with me is my co-host, Ian.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Joseph.
Yellow.
Jehu.
What's up?
You're so disappointed when
I am. I just want to be first. I want to be acknowledged.
You'll always be your wife's number one until you have a child, and
Nah.
then you'll be forgotten. This week, we're going to be talking about our review and experience at Pensacon 2019 last week. 3 of us were in attendance. Someone is banished.
I am banned from Pensacon.
Wait. Why are you banned from Pensacon?
Well, we can't go into it because we don't want to ruin our relationship with Pensacon. First, we're going to talk about kind of our individual experiences, things we liked, things we didn't like. I did something about Siri. Also, my Siri's an Irish woman.
Is her name Friday?
No, that would be awesome. Shit, I didn't think of that. That's so much better.
Yeah. My Siri calls me asshat because my friend Zach got a hold of it
So
one time.
we're going to have to obviously delete all this. I changed the name of my phone to Best Podcast Ever so I could airdrop the podcast at Pensacon last week. So now my phone calls me Best Podcast Ever.
That's awesome. Leave it in.
However,
If you delete that, that's a traitorous move.
I tried to do it multiple times, but strangely enough, people don't like accepting airdrops from strangers. I don't know. But yeah, we'll talk about just cons in general. So anybody want to go first?
I mean, I'll start off, it was my first con ever. It was a lot more people, than I thought. I had no idea what to expect. So, I was walking in, completely, blind. And,
Popped your cherry.
first thing I was expecting it to be 95% guys and 5% girls, and
Wrong.
it was not.
That's a thing that's really changed over these last few years.
It was 60-40, 65-35. There were way more girls than I thought. Way more people dressed up, you know what I mean, in costumes. And the age range, I thought it was going to be 14 to 28, but there were 10-year-olds to 60-year-olds dressed up. You know what I mean?
There have been old men who've been keeping their weird in for a long time,
Yeah.
waiting for it to be socially acceptable.
Yeah. Me and Jones interviewed a nice guy who was dressed up as one of the ring race. And I mean, he I didn't see his face, but he was definitely older. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He had his teenage daughter with him.
Yep. So I thought that was really cool. Some of the costumes for people making them.
They're incredible.
Yeah, really good. I heard the Shazam costumes cost $1 million and they made 10 of them. Hire one of those motherfuckers. They can do it probably with some paper mache for 50 cents, But
some of the great ones, Ariel.
Yep.
Was really awesome. She also did a really good job. We asked her some questions about the upcoming live-action Disney movies. She gave some good answers for.
Yep.
The whole Lord of the Rings family, because he was the ring wraith. His daughter was Frodo, I believe.
Yep.
I mean,
and the wife was an elf.
Yeah, Galadriel, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Obviously, the 501st it came to party.
The
They always do.
the girl who was the Imperial
Guard,
officer.
Yeah, officer. Yeah.
One, her costume was excellent. She also had the demeanor of an Imperial
Absolutely.
officer. She was very resolute, standing there, very straight faced the whole time. There was a family who were from Firefly. It was Captain Reynolds.
Yep.
But they were good. I mean, there was a lot of really great cosplay there.
Yeah, it was a good amalgam of all nerd things.
That is not a word.
You know what I mean?
Amalgamation.
Yeah.
That was an extra Ian word.
Yeah, that amalgam of all nerd things.
I like the word.
Yeah, wrestling. There were wrestlers. There was anime. There was video games. There was comic books.
I saw Jack and Daxter. Jackson Daxter.
Yeah, it was a good
Did they? I didn't see that.
melting pot.
Yeah.
Something I know how to say. I don't know. I mean, have you ever been any other cons?
Oh man, yeah.
Okay.
My first con I ever went to was in the late '90s, and it was Dragon Con, and it was one of those things where the first day is just so exciting and weird, and then by the third day it's very much, oh yeah, there's a blue naked guy, right on. Who gives a shit, But I mean, cons can be fun. I definitely turned on cons a while back. Sort of what we were talking about earlier. There was the sort of influx that the superhero movie boom brought in was just a lot of bros, and it got really bro-y in that scene, and I was not digging it. But, cosplay's kind of changed that, and there's a whole lot more variety of people now and stuff like that, so I'm not as anti-con is, although I'm not really missing it or anything.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
you know, but yeah, I've done my time in the trenches. Yeah.
So outside of just like, you know, the wandering around, seeing all the different people in their costumes and their fan bases, and it just one of the fun things that I really liked is they have all the different panels with you know, different groups from different fandoms. I know we went to the Batman the Animated Series
That was a great one.
with fucking Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
That's mainly the only thing I'm sad at.
And Kevin Conroy was great.
What's the one of my favorite parts about that panel was how just nonchalantly he goes into Batman voice just for things.
And he was totally into it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there are people that we went to the Power Rangers one too, where those people were not as into it. They did okay. You know what I mean? But Kevin Conroy
That one was
like,
ridiculous.
yeah, like he was happy to be there. Like he was totally like
And
you know into it.
I think there are a lot of people that are genuinely touched by the amount of people that, like, you know, their material, their work resonates with. And I think, you know, for some people it's overwhelming. They don't want to deal with, you know, all these people asking them questions. But for some people, they're like, oh man, I feel like I've really made an impact. And I definitely feel that's the way that Kevin Conroy came to it.
The DC animated stuff from Batman Animated Series, the Superman Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited, that's my favorite shit ever.
Sure.
I'll give it the Pepsi challenge with anything. So it's really cool you guys got to see that shit.
Yeah, he's still Batman because he mentioned at the end of it he's doing the Justice League and the Fatal Five, which is like the next animated movie, and I mean he still voices Batman today,
which is set in the DC animated universe, and also I think he still does Justice League action.
I don't know about that. I know he does the Arkham games. So
well, I mean, I know he's the voice on Justice League action. I just don't know if they're still making
going.
new
Yeah.
episodes.
One thing I really enjoyed about that panel was, and that I didn't know and learning there, is that they recorded that with everyone in the room.
Yeah.
That they do it together. Like, then they talked about how it was like the opportunity they act against each other and stuff like that. That's super interesting.
I know Mark Hamill famously records like standing up, as opposed to everybody else has like stools or whatever, and he just uses the room, uses the space.
I can believe that about Mark Hamill.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like the girl said, she's from a theater background who was Poison Ivy, and she was like, usually you do anime, you're just in a booth talking to yourself. And she's like, when you're in a group like that, you know, it's like acting is all about reacting. So, like, I could totally see where, like, you're going to get a better performance if you record it all together. You know what I mean? So I thought that was cool.
It was very interesting. You guys went to short film
Yeah,
festival,
they had smattered throughout the weekend at different times. They had little 45-minute sections of short films of different genres. We went to see some of the sci-fi ones, and you know they're not all necessarily like Hollywood quality, but one of them definitely was.
Yeah. One of them was totally. We thought.
Yeah.
It was sci-fi TV movie level.
Yeah, I like they're giving a platform for artists to kind of get their work out there, and it was just fun to see like different stories. And even if you know the things wouldn't probably be as fleshed out as they would be with more of a budget, like the concepts were all good, and I'd like to see more of them. I would go to more of those if we go back next year.
One thing I got to while you guys were going to that, I went and saw Christopher Sabat. And
Is it Sabat or Sabat?
It's Sabat.
Okay.
I learned there. Damian Lewis, who voices Cell, and I can't remember her name, the voice of Bulma. And it was much better than the Dragon Ball Z one we went to last year, mostly because it was a lot of fan questions, and a lot of people asked really good questions of them.
Well, that's a rarity.
Yeah, but
That is such a rarity.
yeah, I said a lot. I didn't say all of them were good questions. There were some strong ones. But again, it's kind of the same thing with the Batman the Animated Series one is those people didn't run away from the characters they play. You know, sometimes I feel like no one's asking you to go in the voice, but you know that's what people want to hear. So, and of course, like Chris Sabat really only has like 2 voices that he just does 900 times in different shows. So he, you know...
And they're not even that different.
No, they're not. So, yeah, he talked a lot about, you know, in his Vegeta voice about certain things, and it was very good. They did a lot about the new Broly movie, which if you haven't seen is very good. It's one of the best things I think Dragon Ball Z has put out in a long time. But what else? I don't feel like probably the biggest thing.
Yep.
And unfortunately, we lost it.
Well, we're
Yeah, this is a very real phonies thing.
we'll share a little bit more with you later. But throughout the con, we were you know walking around talking to people about their different fandoms, about things that they were excited about. And one of the people we got to interview was a Star Wars writer, Christian.
Yeah, so author by the name of Timothy Zahn, who famously wrote the Thrawn trilogy. The really cool thing about this guy was he was the first person to really write Star Wars post George Lucas. Once Return of the Jedi had ended, it had been a few years. Lucasfilm had teamed up with a book publishing company, decided to write some books, and the first one was a book called Heir of the Empire, written by Timothy Zahn. We had the opportunity to talk to him. I apparently did not know how to use the recorder at the time.
It's new technology.
Didn't record it. But he had some really great answers to questions. But the thing that really struck with me and Hurt, I had texted the group about what we should ask him, and Hurt had a great question about Star Wars was basically dead.
Yeah, between after Return of the Jedi, there was a little trickle over the next year, but then everything went away. The Marvel comic got canceled. They stopped making the toys, and between that and Heir to the Empire, Star Wars was deader than fucking disco, and by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I threw a little Pulp Fiction paraphrasing in there for the question for you. I was hoping you guys got that. But anyways, we'll never know because the thing was lost. But anyways, but yeah, and then that Dawn book happened, and I can remember exactly seeing it for the first time, buying it, reading it, and it was the first Star Wars thing you'd really seen in a while. After that, everything started coming back, and I always wondered whether that was just the first salvo in a concerted effort to bring back Star Wars stuff, or if the success of that is what brought back toys and comics.
So his answer was essentially that the plan was 3 books.
Right.
That was really it. That they knew that there was at least a confidence in Lucasfilm that there was a market out there for Star Wars, but it was going to need the right thing to kind of launch it. And I mean, very humbly, he's like, they didn't know it was going to be this thing,
right.
But it turns out, of course, that it was. And so they write the first 3 books, and then, of course, Heir of the Empire is a huge hit, and the rest of the Thrawn trilogy is very popular. And after that, it becomes a 22-book deal.
Right.
And just a bunch of stuff then starts getting pushed out. The other really great thing that he talked about that I think ties into that is he talked about, I asked the question of what it's like to basically create all of this stuff and for an outside source, Disney in this case, come in and be like, none of that stuff's legitimate anymore. And his response essentially was that was going to happen anyway. Like anyone who wrote Star Wars after Return of the Jedi knew, whether it be George or somebody else,
right.
Someone was going to come in and say, this isn't real anymore.
Well, because there was always the mandate. You could do anything in those books except kill Han, Luke, or Leia. So they knew, no matter what George Lucas was saying, he knew there was going to be more.
Yeah, absolutely. So, he referred to it basically as like King Arthur. He's like, do we know if King Arthur's a real person? No. And are there a million different stories about King Arthur? Of course. Why can't we treat Luke Skywalker the same way?
That's a great fucking attitude.
Really, really awesome attitude. I mean, when you think about the guy created Coruscant, which is a thing that George uses in the prequels.
Yep.
He created Thrawn, which he talked about. Dave Filoni was really the guy who was in charge of that. Heir of the Empire was a big influence on him. He wanted to include it in Star Wars Rebels. Things in like Last Jedi. I know. As divisive as Last Jedi is, it's honestly probably the truest to Heir to the Empire of the 2 new ones we have. I just recently reread Heir of the Empire. I'm sitting here talking to Timothy Zahn. I had to buy a book and have him sign it. I have an old copy of it somewhere, but I didn't feel like digging it up. And then the new one I have, he has notes written in the book, like why he did these things and
oh, wow.
That's cool.
It's really interesting.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
But he had such a huge influence. The reason I like The Last Jedi, like Snoke's ship is a dreadnought class. Thrawn's ship was a dreadnought class ship. Like there's a lot of his influences all over Star Wars as we know it. And so just sitting here and talking to this guy and hear him talk about Luke and Leia and Han and Lando, I mean, just a real cool experience.
He really in those books got the voices of the characters down right.
Oh, absolutely.
It didn't seem like a different thing. It seemed like you were really this was the next chapter with those things. I still have those books in a prominent spot on my bookshelf. And he's written new ones. He's written one in the new Disney continuity. So
I think it's cool. Like I haven't read the books, but like it seems that's the only expanded universe thing they've brought back in.
It's
Thrawn.
his stuff, really.
Yeah, like only his stuff. Out of everything that's been published, there's a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? His is the one they've thrown. This is good enough to like be mainline Star Wars for Disney, which is pretty cool.
The other thing that people want to bring back is Mara Jade, and again, that's a character of his creation.
Yeah.
So it was very cool. I wish we had the recording, but I also don't mind hearing the sound of my own voice retelling it.
Yeah, I thought we did a couple other interviews. Is there any other interviews that you remember? I thought the Kylo Ren guy.
Yeah, the Kylo Ren.
He looked just like Kylo Ren, Adam Driver.
You can find him on our Instagram page.
Yeah, apologies to that guy. We interviewed him outside, and it was a windy day, so we will probably not be publishing
There's
that
also
one.
a very loud band in the background the whole time.
Well, you guys know which interview I'm most interested in. Wyatt Summers.
The Joker.
Yeah. And I've brought up Wyatt multiple times on this thing. He's a dude I like, and I'm glad he's doing well.
Yeah, he said we told him he may listen, but yeah, we were talking to him about the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. He seemed to be into it. So I don't know. We basically were just walking around talking to people in their costumes about the movies related to those costumes.
Yeah.
And kind of getting opinions on stuff coming out. And, so you guys wait and see. I think some of it should be interesting. Whatever we can translate and hear audibly.
I did also get to talk to, I believe her name's Claudia Gray. She wrote the new Leia book. And not much, but she did talk about how it was really cool to come in and write for a character that, as popular as she is, we have almost no backstory for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. And it was a really cool perspective because you don't really... I appreciate Leia so much for what you get in the films that you don't really think about how little there is. There's a little bit of her in the Ahsoka novel, but...
So, who were like the celebrities at this one? I don't even know.
Shatner.
Oh, Shatner was there.
Yeah.
No shit. Awesome.
Shatner.
Kevin Conroy.
I mean, Kevin Conroy was a big one.
Right.
Commander Riker.
Oh, cool. Right on. William Frakes.
Donna Noble. What's her name? She was on The Office.
Yeah.
She was on Doctor Who. She had her own show on the BBC.
Yeah, I hadn't heard who was in this one. Like, everyone before this, so it's weird I didn't hear Shatner was going to be here. That's dope.
We actually, Joseph and I went to dinner with our wives at the Fish House. We've done it 2 years in a row now. Oddly enough, sat at the exact same table 2 years in a row. And Jonathan Frakes was at the table behind us.
That's dope.
Yeah.
But here's what I really want to know.
Oh, Gimli was there.
Jonathan
That's right.
As a soap opera super fan, was Jonathan Frakes' wife with him?
I don't think so.
Damn it. I'd geek out for Jeannie Francis.
I didn't know they were married.
Yeah, they are. Well, I don't know if they still are. They may not be. Hollywood and all that.
Yeah.
But they were married for a while.
Catherine Tate.
Catherine Tate.
The ones I'm most interested in are who are the not famous celebrities, because I'm trying to figure out which ones people we know tried to bone.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Oh yeah, what the other guy that I wanted was it? Is it Jeremy Davies, the guy from Lost?
Yeah,
and
Jeremy Davies was there.
Justified.
Yeah. Oh, he was there.
Yeah, he was there too.
I like that guy a lot.
I do too.
Have you ever watched a movie with him called Spanking the Monkey?
No.
Do not. It is disturbing. It's a good movie. Very disturbing.
It sounds uncomfortable.
They announced some 2019 guests. Jake the Snake Roberts.
Jake the Snake is still alive?
I know. A guy from Super Troopers. They must be. John Glover is coming back but he's got listed as Smallville because he was in the Batman. I think they realized that he should go on a real panel and not an animated series panel. But yeah.
The one thing that would make me upset about John Glover is he has 3 DC credits to his name, and they never talk about it. He is both Lionel Luthor in Smallville. He is the Riddler in Batman the Animated Series, and he's the crazy guy who made Bane in Batman and Robin.
I'm pretty sure they did mention that in the panel.
I'm most excited about Jake the Snake Roberts because a friend of mine's dad claims to have backed down Jake the Snake in a bar, so maybe we can set up that rematch.
Yeah. Here's some more Peter Davidson, Jonathan Rhys Davies, Ricky Whittle. These are the featured guests. So.
That came this year.
No, 2019 is what it's saying.
Oh, this is 2019.
Yeah, so I'm looking at last year. Ignore that. Cut that.
Leave that in.
Definitely leave
That's on brand. But the other thing we did is we walked around and interviewed a bunch of the guests, and we recorded some of that. So I think that's what's next.
Yeah, absolutely. We tried to talk to a couple people who were dressed up, and we got a lot of very, very nice, thoughtful people who had a lot of genuine opinions about their
best
fandom.
part of cosplay is they tell you what they're into.
Exactly.
Yep.
We're going to share a couple of those with you right now.
Local podcast, Real Phonies. It's on iTunes, and we're just doing like a Comic-Con kind of reaction episode. So the Oscars are tonight. What did you first? What's your real name? I love your Black Panther outfit. You look awesome.
Nice. My name is Aaron Crawford, actually.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Have you cosplayed as Black Panther before?
Actually, this is the first con that I actually did Black Panther. I was originally going to do it at MegaCon, but ended up doing Green Lantern and Snake Eyes. But I'm glad that I'm actually doing it now, and getting more into the MCU characters as well too. So, yeah.
What do you think of the Black Panther movie? Did you think that, obviously it's my favorite movie I think ever. I mean, what was your initial thoughts on it?
So my initial thoughts, of course, as being, not to make this whole racial, but, having a representation of, black superheroes. Don't get me wrong. Blade was the first one in the live action series that, Trinity, actually, that I loved because it opened that door, and I believe that paved the way for Black Panther. So, and then on top of that, just the culture that's blended, that is not just one specific country in Africa, but it's multiple countries. And you can see that through Ruth Carter's designs and even the music with Ludwig and a couple of other people as well, too. Masamba playing the talking drum that signifies T'Challa's entrance, So, yeah, it's pretty dope. I like I said, I enjoyed the movie. It showed a lot of representation, but also just even with Marvel and Disney, period, the meaning behind it, like any Disney movie, let's say even with Little Mermaid or anything, like it has some significant meaning. So yeah, I love it. And the funny thing is with Killmonger and Nakia, they both had the same idea of making Wakanda a open, society. Exactly. However, even though I know the hashtag Killmonger was right, maybe Killmonger was right, but in a sense, he was right. I mean, I totally agree with him. And same thing with Nakia, but how he done it to, try to get it to be, prevalent, I would say that he did it the wrong way. But his ways, his intentions of how it was, and then, of course, I would say that the reason why he did it the wrong way was because there was also some back hurt of his father being, passed away. I think me and my friend, exactly. His friend, even my friends, we were talking about it. We were like, so why is Killmonger this? I was like, well, you have to realize that his father was killed by his brother. So regardless if T'Challa is, trying to befriend him and trying to make alliances with him, Killmonger still sees his uncle as the murderer through his son, T'Challa. So, it was that whole mix-up. And then, of course, there's no spoilers of probably what's going to happen next because we already know, Killmonger's coming back for the next one. So, however, we don't know. But, yeah.
I also agree, like, there's so many outstanding characters, like Shuri, Letitia Wright, M'Baku, by Winston Duke. I mean, it's just so many great characters.
Yeah, Letitia Wright, definitely, Woman Crush Wednesday. Let's just say that. But, yeah, like, and everybody else, I mean, even the Djibouti tribe. I met, actually, two people from the actual movie. It was this guy that was on the Border tribe. I'm actually good friends with him, Rashad Smith. And then there's also Djibouti at Mex. He's actually South African. He was the one that was coordinating, so like where Warrior Falls, and actually throughout the movie he was the choreographer, and he's an African drummer out of Boston. I mean, just the insight of what they have of this movie, because they're like the focal point of making this movie. Because he called me, called me, and we were talking. I was getting djembe lessons because I'm a drummer. And he was like, I was pretty much, he said, I wasn't in the movie per se, but he said I was definitely the ones to give like the yes, no, if my blessing wasn't on it, then it was like, no, it's not happening in this movie. So, having that, having that African experience and, growing up in South Africa really helped the movie prolong the way. Because how Hollywood is, they'll take it, make it into like something that's like, oh yeah, we need this, we need that, but then not staying true to the original. Exactly, losing the vision of what it meant, and then also trying to incorporate it into the MCU, which is definitely difficult. But, I'm glad everything came together,
With the Oscars tonight, and obviously it's nominated for Best Picture, do you think it has a real shot? And would you say, do you feel like we've discussed on our podcast prior, we think like Michael B. Jordan was kind of a snub. Like he should have been Best Supporting Actor nominee at least. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, like I said, keeping the racial comments, but, I would say that, yes, we have a chance at doing it. And I totally believe that, yes, we'll win in a category or win in multiple categories. But at the same time, I don't take it as a loss that if we don't, because I'd rather reach millions of people through my acting or through my talents, and everybody, everybody's walking around like little mini Black Panthers, you know what I'm saying? instead of, getting up there and, oh, this looked like it was an okay movie, but yet it wins an Oscar. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather reach people, embrace a culture, and impact a culture versus winning an award.
I don't think I've met a movie in the last 10 years has left an impact on so many people on such a positive way. I mean, like I said, it's just an amazing movie.
I mean, if you look at Intro to Spider-Verse as well, too, like, that was, if you look at the Academy Awards, that was the first Marvel animated movie that won, I would say for Marvel, period, that's a big win. I mean, because if you look at it, we're all, regardless if we're MCU, regardless if we're DC or anything, like, the fact that these comic book movies are coming to the forefront and winning awards, I mean, that was a struggle in itself, So, yeah, I'm totally psyched.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, those are great things.
Yeah, so I'm here talking to Ariel. What's your real name? You have an amazing cosplay, by the way, to start off.
Thank you. My real name is Kat Caraway. I'm at Her Majesty Kat on Instagram, and I actually own what's called Once Upon a Time Parties in Mobile, Alabama. We do pretty much all the princesses for birthday parties and different events. So me and my manager actually came. She is Merida today, Katie Herndon, and she's actually at Princess Katie Cosplay on Instagram. But we have a lot of fun doing what we do. So it's our first con.
Okay. Awesome. So you do a bunch of different princesses then. Okay. What's your favorite one if you had to pick one?
That's a really tough question, actually, because a lot of them are my favorites for different reasons. Sometimes it's the personality that makes me favor a character, and sometimes it's just the costume and the way that they present themselves. So I'd probably have to say maybe Ariel or Princess Anna, just because their attitudes, as well as Rapunzel, they have just such fun-loving, adventurous attitudes, and they're so much fun. So
how have you felt about the live action versions of these characters that we've seen on screen so far?
Well, I'm not going to lie. Whenever they released that they were having the live action come out, I was kind of like, please don't do it. Don't ruin what we already know to be, these characters. But, like they said in the Q&A, I don't know if you guys were able to listen to any of that, but they were talking about pretty much the same thing, how they pretty much stick true to what the story is about, but adding their own twist. And it's pretty interesting to see a different telling of the story, seeing it in real life, and just seeing how the animators come up with, not necessarily the animation, but with, all this magic that they're trying to put into live action. So it actually truly is really amazing to see what they're doing with it.
Have you any thoughts on have you seen the trailer for the new Aladdin? Any thoughts on the new Jasmine? Anything like that?
Yes, I do. I have actually had a lot of people ask me if I'm getting the new Jasmine costume, which we just upgraded to the new Disney Parks Jasmine costume. So we probably won't be getting ourselves a new one, but I'm very excited to see what they do with it, especially having Will Smith being the genie. So I'm really, really excited to see that. Really interested.
Of the properties we haven't seen yet make that switch, what is one that you would like to see? I'm going to guess Little Mermaid, but
I honestly would like to see The Little Mermaid. However, this may be an unpopular opinion, but a lot of people saying that Zendaya would be a great Little Mermaid. I'm not very fond of that. I do love Zendaya, but maybe not. Again, I'm just please don't ruin the character I already have in my mind. And then a lot of people are saying Lindsay Lohan too, and I don't know how I feel about that. She's saying that she wants to be the new Ariel, and I'm like, please don't. Love Ya's Parent Trap, and you kind of went a little crazy. Britney Spears there for a second, but I'm very excited to see something like that. I would definitely love to see that. I would actually love to see a real-life Rapunzel. That would be really challenging, I think, but I think it would be kind of like how they did the Beauty and the Beast, just the way that they added the CGI and things like that. I'm really interested to see something like that.
One more, and I'll thank you for your time. We'll get you out of here. Any thoughts? I know they cast the Mulans coming up. Is that one? That's my favorite Disney song ever, is Make a Man Out of You, so I'm very excited about that. Any thoughts?
Now, the only thing, I don't know if you know this, but I have heard that they're actually not doing singing. They've taken Li Shang out, and I think Mushu will not be making an appearance either. And I was like, what? Really? The three things that make Mulan besides her saving all of China? Yeah. But I'm, again, excited to see where they go with it. I'm really excited to see how they make it into a live action. I really hope that they, get back into the battling that they do and things like that. But I'm really excited for it. I'm very interested. And I know they're taking a lot of time to work on it, too. So hopefully they kind of blow us out of the water with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Christian. I'm at Pensacon 2019, here with an excellent Jester cosplay. What's your real name?
My real name is Riley Bollier.
Nice to meet you. Really impressed. Again, I told you earlier, only Critical Role I've seen so far here. It's excellent. So you're watching Campaign 2 now? Did you watch all of Vox Machina?
No, I started on Campaign 2 because I was a bit intimidated by the sheer volume in Vox Machina. But I'm getting back. I'm gonna get back to it.
Yeah, for sure. You're dressed as Jester, but I gotta ask: is Jester your favorite in the show?
I really like Caleb, but I think Jester's probably my favorite. Yeah.
Caleb gets a little depressing at sometimes. Jester's at least bright and cheery all the time. So how far are you in old Mighty Nine?
Let's see. I think they're about to meet the gentleman, I think.
Cool. So pretty early days, ways to go. But that's awesome.
I love your outfit. It's probably the best Obi-Wan I've seen here. How did you what's your name, and how did you get into cosplaying?
Sean McMillan. Just a couple years ago, I had wanted to make Obi-Wan a tunic and robes, and I used to be real fat, and that was kind of part of my motivation to get skinny. And so I, made myself drop like 80 pounds.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. And then on the way down, I was like, all right, I'm gonna make the robes.
Are you an Alex Guinness Obi-Wan or a Ewan McGregor?
McGregor.
100%. There's been a lot of rumors over the last few years about an Ewan McGregor spin-off movie. If they did something like that, what would you like to see? Anything, story? Like I heard it maybe take place on Tatooine, or would you like it later? Any thoughts?
I want to make sure his balls don't get cut off. And then if it was on something from during the Clone Wars, I don't really want to see a disheveled old man in a hut on Tatooine.
Any thoughts on the new trilogy? I mean, are you a fan, or as far as Force Awakens and Last Jedi?
I like The Force Awakens. Okay. I can identify that it's just a copy, cut, paste of A New Hope. Yep. But I went to go see The Last Jedi opening night, and I almost walked out. The guy next to me, whenever the Mary Poppins scene, the guy pulled out a flask and started fucking hitting it. Like, this isn't a joke. Like, he did it. So
yeah, that's a great story, man. Yeah.
I'm glad they're bringing JJ back. I'm hoping they can salvage it, but yeah, Rian Johnson he's supposedly going to do a trilogy on his own. Do you think that's going to happen or no?
Fuck no. When you lose people money, typically you don't get to go very far.
I really think the deadline is seeing if there's any effect when Episode 9 comes out. If Episode 9 they see a decrease in money, that'll be it for Rian Johnson.
Yeah, I'll go see Episode 9 just because I don't necessarily want to see Star Wars die. But if I go there and it's bad, it's, the cow's out of milk. Stop doing it.
How do you feel about the movies that have existed outside of the Skywalker series, so Solo and Rogue One?
I thought Rogue One was okay, but I wasn't like, ooh, it's my favorite movie. Like, visually it was good. Story-wise, it was kind of a little weak. And then I never saw Solo.
Yeah.
I was part of that thing. I felt so fucking backstabbed by how bad The Last Jedi was. I wanted the message to hit. Yeah, allegedly it was decent, but my thing was until we get something good, I'm not going to bother with it. Yeah.
You didn't miss much, but
I like Solo.
Yeah, Ian here with Real Phonies talking to Frozone, and your costume is amazing. What's your real name?
Dan the Spider-Man is my Instagram.
Okay.
Awesome. Is this your first time cosplaying as Frozone? Have you done it before?
I have done it once before. I recently got the suit after Incredibles 2 came out and honestly, I wanted to do a lot of African American superheroes for Pensacon because it's Black History Month as well. So I've been doing Cyborg, Black Panther, Black Lightning, Frozone, and Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Wow, that's a ton, man. Are all those on your Instagram page?
Yeah, and I actually have the Black Panther helmet right there.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Would you like to see? I've heard rumors of a Frozone movie.
Yes.
What do you think? Do you think that I would be so into that because I think he's the standout character of the whole, other than him and Jack Jack are my two favorites of the movie. What do you? Any thoughts on Frozone, a spinoff?
Yeah, I definitely love to see it. He's a token black guy, so he has to stand out for one. Apparently his son would have earth powers, kid have water and fire, and it's awesome. It's gonna be great. But I'm really excited for that to happen because one, I get to go to the movies dressed up as this and get paid for it. So, two, love to see another movie like that, another Incredibles with one centered around a certain character.
For sure. You talk about cosplaying as different, African American characters, stuff like that. Is there one that we haven't seen in film that you would like to see, like maybe Jon Stewart or something along those lines?
Yes. I'd actually love to see Steel in a remade version.
A good one.
Yeah, definitely. Black Lightning as well.
Yep.
Luke Cage for a full-length movie.
That would be awesome.
And I want them to bring back Blade.
Who would be your dream choice to cast as Blade?
Wesley Snipes.
Bring him back.
Honestly, there's no reason they shouldn't.
I think Michael B. Jordan could do it too. I
want to see him as Superman.
Oh,
Earth 2 Superman would be great. I'm a fan of Marshall Ali as Blade. I think is who my dream choice would be. But
That would be pretty dope.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my only last question, you said you cosplay as Black Panther with the Oscars tonight. Do you think Black Panther has a really good shot at taking home Best Picture?
Oh, definitely. Definitely, without a doubt. Like, it was the best superhero film of that year. I've never seen... I get paid to come out to a movie theater to dress up as a character, to cosplay a character, and take pictures with everybody to get more hype for the movie. I had never seen that many people in one theater for that movie. And, like, it brought everybody out. So it was amazing. Like, it wasn't centered for one audience. It was for everybody.
Yeah. Well, it certainly was important enough for everyone to see, I think. But
Of course. So I'm here with, what's your name, ma'am?
Brennan Beckwith.
And she has a YouTube channel that is...
My YouTube channel is youtube.com/Brennan Beckwith. I make nerd and geek culture themed content.
Is this your first comic Pensacon, or have you been here before?
It's not my first con ever, but it definitely is my first Pensacon. It's my first time cosplaying for real. Like, I'm dressed as a Negasonic Teenage Warhead right now. And I've always been a nerd, and I've always been, like, a geek and into, like, superheroes and stuff like that, but I've never gone to a con and, like, actually, like, did it all, you know? Yeah, like, did the whole deal. And so I'm, like, experiencing it. I'm making a video about it, and, like, yeah, I'm having a good time.
one thing that I personally love about conventions, and I would like to hear your opinion on, is, like, it seems as soon as you arrive and you're, like, standing in line, it's just like a society that embraces, like, whoever you are, whatever you're into. Yeah. It's very welcoming. Do you have a similar experience?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's so cool to see, especially, like, open cons like this, who, like, they don't have, like, necessarily, like, a theme. Like, you just see all kinds of people. Sure. Like, you see your Marvel people, you see your anime people, you see your furries, you see your Harry Potter, you see everybody. And so it's so cool to watch that, like, converge. It's like a melting pot, for sure, for sure. Yeah. And it's just awesome to see it all come together, and, like, it's almost like a camaraderie that you don't really get a lot.
So Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Now, I know she was in Deadpool.
Yes.
Were you familiar with her before? Because from what I read, they changed her powers for the movie, for the ego swap in Guardians of the Galaxy to use ego. And I don't know
I don't know the most about her comic book history. I know a lot about her movie. I love her in the movies. I was introduced to her through the movies. But I know that, like, a lot changed from comic to movie, which is very common. But I do know that in the comics she was LGBT, and they added that into the movie, the second movie, which is my favorite thing about her, because, like, she is the only queer representation in Marvel or in superhero films in general, and I think that's super important and, like, is groundbreaking and super exciting.
Your cosplay is awesome, and thank you for your time.
So yeah, definitely. Yeah. And that is
Go. You're good.
And that is youtube.com/Brennan Beckwith, BrennenBeckwith. Thank you for talking to me, and I'll check out your podcast.
So, what's your name? And I love your outfit. You're dressed as the anime Harley Quinn.
I am Virginia Burton.
So, yeah, we're just kind of getting reactions of Pensacon people kind of talking about their outfits. What do you think of Harley Quinn and Suicide Squad? Were you happy with that? What they did with the character?
Yes, actually. I have the tattoo on my arm, and then I have the Lucky You tattoo she has in the movie as well. People are like, why don't you just get the temporary tattoos? Like, well, at $20 a piece, I could just get the real one for about the same price of, 6 of them, or maybe less. But just get the real one and not have to worry about it.
Obviously, you have a love for the character of Harley Quinn. Like, where did that come from? Where did it start?
The animated series, Harley. I love how crazy she is. She's like, I don't know, there's something about her personality that really rings with me, just because it makes me feel less crazy, because she's so out there and doesn't really care, like, what people think about her. And when I was younger, back in high school, I had really bad anxiety. I cared a lot about what people thought about me, but kind of getting to connect with the character of Harley and seeing how she acts kind of helped me realize, like, you don't have to really impress people. Just be you, and that your people will, nice people will accept it. Most people are good. Yeah. So you don't have to pretend to be who you're not. Though being able to be at a convention and dress up and pretend to be somebody else helps you break through that barrier, so you kind of get rid of your anxiety through cosplay, through getting out there, being a character, talking to people. Eventually that just becomes part of you.
So those were great interviews.
Thank you. So thank you to everyone who took the time to chat with us and share your opinions. We really appreciate it. And
You had great perspectives.
Absolutely.
And they were valued.
Even though Nips was too scared to talk to any of you.
I am.
If anything, we learned that Joseph suffers from imposter syndrome.
I do. I don't feel like I come across as likable.
Well, I mean, that's very self-aware.
Yeah.
You don't come across.
That's what I'm saying.
Most of our listeners probably would agree.
I'm not sure that I should be the face of our podcast. I do the edit work.
I remember a time where trying to talk people into, no, Joseph's a cool guy, was like my main hobby.
Yeah, Joseph's our editor, back of the house. That's, we learned that he doesn't like to talk to people.
I will say most of the things you guys listen to come from day 3 of the con, because the first day was just me and Reagan begging Timothy Zahn to do shit on the podcast that didn't even end up on the podcast. And then day 2 was us just figuring out how to go up to strangers and ask questions.
And how to figure out the recorder.
And how to use the recorder. But by day 3, damn it, we got it.
Yeah,
we were professionals.
Next year,
I think we can do it.
Yeah.
We'll be better.
So hang with us, and we're going to do
just 51 more weeks.
Yeah.
This is growth.
All right, guys, so I think that's it for Pensacon 2019. Until next year, when we are super pros, what have you been watching this past week?
Let me start.
Anywhere you want.
So, yeah, I finished Band of Brothers, and the back half is even better than the first half, dude. The 2 episodes where they're in the Bastogne Woods, and they're, like, freezing, and the one's a Donnie Wahlberg-centric episode, and one's, like, a medic-centric episode. Just fucking great television.
Yeah.
Like,
good
5-star.
TV,
and then, like, I didn't realize Jimmy Fallon pops up in there, Colin Hanks, like, just, Damian Lewis as Dick Winters. Like, now that I'm through it, I know all the characters' names, I want to go back and watch it from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Because, like, you really, like, they were such a close unit, and, like, I want to know those characters from the beginning again, because I lost a lot of that, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But it's really, really well done.
Did you start the Pacific?
No, I just finished it last night. So I think Pacific's next, but everyone's been telling me Pacific's like it's
not as good.
A step down, so yeah. I'm tempering expectations. I finished beating Resident Evil 2 on Xbox One. Dope game. I'd recommend it if anyone hasn't played it. And then I just watched the USS Callister with my parents because they're blowing through Black Mirror like 2 hours before I got here. Meth Damon is a very good villain in that movie.
Yeah, he is. He's great.
Yeah, like Meth Damon really does a good job.
We should learn that guy's real name.
Yeah, Jesse Plemons. No, Jesse Plemons. I know his real name, but he's Meth Damon.
The thing is, that guy's really good at being not likable. Even in like Fargo,
he's like Joseph.
He is. Breaking
I would
Bad.
pick him to play Joseph in the movie.
Yeah, he sort of tortures Jesse.
But like even in like Fargo, where he wasn't really a bad guy, you just immediately dislike him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he looks like Matt Damon on meth.
Yeah.
He really does.
Isn't he married to Kirsten Dunst, though?
Yep. They met on Fargo.
What?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yep. True story. But yeah, that's my favorite Black Mirror. I hope they make a sequel. Yeah. Kirsten Dunst, I mean, Meth Damon, you did well for yourself.
Absolutely. You're batting above your level.
And that's it.
I didn't watch much this week because I tried to power through Heir of the Empire for an interview that apparently doesn't exist.
You did a great job of summarizing it.
I did my best. I did, however, as we know, I've finished Critical Role. I'm up to date on Critical Role. I did start Deborah Ann Wool's D&D show called Relics and Rarities on Geek and Sundry.
You are in deep.
I am D and deep. It's pretty good. It's very different. It's kind of almost like an escape room mixed with D&D. Like they go to different places, like on the set they go to like different rooms, and she like gives them magical items, and they can actually have like items they can use in the game. It's very interactive. She's a very good DM. It's a much quicker game than Critical Role is. Each one stands on its own. Each one's only about 2 hours long, and it's very interesting. I would highly recommend it. I don't think I've watched anything else this week.
What's the name of it again?
Relics and Rarities. That's it.
I also did not watch a lot this week. I was part of a band last night that did an AC/DC cover show.
Fun.
That's cool.
It was super fucking fun, but that took up most of my week getting prepped for that.
Where was the show?
It was at Chizuko. It was one of those things where it was for charity, where a bunch of bands are other bands, like pretend to be other bands, and then whoever wins of the night gets to donate the money from the door to their charity of their
Did you
choice.
win?
I honestly don't know. Like I haven't talked to those guys about this today. I doubt it. I'm pretty sure whoever was the youngest probably won, because the youngest always have the most friends that they can drag out to a bar on Sunday night.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it was a good time. I had a good time at it.
What was the most fun AC/DC song to play?
Man, okay, here's the thing. Our set list was very contentious because some of us were just guys who like playing rock music and looking cool, and some of us were record collectors.
Yes.
And record collectors wanted to do the deep cuts that are only going to impress other record collectors. And I care less about impressing a record collector than any human on earth. So it was hard to get the set to where everybody was happy. But I did get to play my personal favorite AC/DC song, which, weird, after going on that whole rant, is totally a record collector deep cut called Riff Raff. But probably the most fun one is the one you'd think would be the most fun one. You Shook Me All Night Long. That was you know, everybody sung along. You know, it was pretty cool.
I have a side story that's unrelated to this podcast.
Okay.
That I was trying to explain to my wife what Thunderstruck was.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure she's never listened to an AC/DC song before. And so I started going, I was born in the
It's pretty good.
And she looked genuinely disgusted with me. Like, what are you doing?
I have a difficult relationship with AC/DC because as much as I enjoy the vocals and the guitar licks in them, it's all four on the floor the whole time.
That's my favorite part of it.
Dude sits in the pocket.
This is my favorite Hurt rant I've ever heard.
My favorite. Yeah, so I'm sure you've already heard this one too. But 4/4 is the time signature of sex. Boom, crash, in, out. Nobody's fucking to rototoms. You know, like
tell that to Phil Collins.
So you know, I mean,
I just also want to clarify. I'm pretty sure we had this exact conversation about 6 years ago.
We probably did.
But yeah, we also did Thunderstruck, and it was super fun. Yeah. You know, you guys might be surprised about this, but I was not lead guitar. I was Malcolm. I was the rhythm guy.
Nice.
So which had a lot more opportunities for me to jump around and act like an idiot. So that was good. Oh, and also I'll watch a Reign of Superman. I like it better than you did.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Is it better or worse than Transformers?
I definitely go better than Transformers.
Really? I feel like you don't understand the metric.
Hurt is very sold on better than Transformers.
I can't even get into this at the end of the podcast, but we're going to do this on another extra. The problem with the metric is you guys do not apply it correctly. You do not put it at 50. You put it at about like 65. And you put it at about like 93.
So wait, where do I put it?
You're
12.
the closest to being.
It's like
you're
13.
probably more like 45. Yeah. Well, no, you're 45 on the first week,
and then it goes
75 on the third week.
True story. That is my favorite comic book story. I want to watch that.
I'm catching up on True Detective. I still haven't finished it yet, but I've only got 2 left. But I'm still liking it. It's one of those things where it's not as I definitely what is it? Cary Fukunaga, the guy who's from the first season. That guy brought the visual flair 100%. Yep. Like has not been present since the first season. And there's definitely nobody's got as flashy as a thing as
Rusty.
as Rusty. But I feel like the performances as a whole are just so strong between Mahershala Ali, Stephen Dorff, and Scoot McNairy are so fucking good. It's outrageous.
God, I know I've said it before, but Scoot McNairy as 1980s Midwestern dad is just perfect casting.
Yeah,
he rocks a mustache better than like anybody.
It's so
but
good.
Like a trashy mustache, the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got the most like
alcoholic
insanely large mustache in Argo. And it just makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I just got to the part where I'm just on episode 3, so I just got to the part where Stephen Dorff in the 90s, and I'm just really digging him in this because I've literally never liked him in anything.
Right?
Else.
Yeah. And he's like drinking with the dog and shit.
Right? Yeah.
The show's
I haven't seen him in anything since Blade. So
right. Well, I've seen him in a few things, and he's usually not likable, and usually he's playing to that.
Yeah.
But other times, he's just not likable.
No, he's definitely the best guy in the show so far, on a moral level.
I tell you what I like about this. I like that, they're copping the multiple time frames from the first one.
Yep.
But they're mixing it up by adding the memory loss thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that Mahershala Ali's like kind of an asshole. Like,
yeah,
he's
no,
kind
me too.
of an alcoholic drunk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, he does it so well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Again, the performances I think are the strength of this, even if the story isn't as compelling and there's not it's not as flashy. But I'm still into it. I only got 2 episodes left. The wife and I watched the new season of The Dragon Prince, just like on blast. Nothing else we watched. It's great. I really like it. It's a show from the same people who did Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's another animated kids show with its heavy fantasy. I watched the first season before I did Critical Role. Now, after I've done that, I appreciate how fantasy it is even more because it's deep fantasy. But it's fun. I mean, it's super character driven. It's really sad for a kids show. Like, it made me tear up several times. But I recommend it. It's a good time. Besides the tears.
I did think of something else I watched.
Yeah.
If you're not done.
I have one more thing.
Go first.
And then Ian semi-talked me into a world that I wasn't prepared for. With my new PS4, I downloaded one of those Battle Royale games. I did the new one, which is Apex Legends, and I am addicted to it, and I am super bad at it.
Yep.
I've played, I don't know, dozens of matches at this point, and I may have killed like 3 people.
Doesn't it feel so good when you
Oh, it does. It's the best. It's enough to get me through like 4 or 5 other games.
Yeah. I've been playing longer than you, and I'm awful. Real bad, so that'll go on for a while.
I'm a few weeks behind, but I watched the Valentine's Day special of Big Mouth.
I'm not sure about it. I also watched that.
So I still think Big Mouth is one of the best shows on TV.
Yeah.
Season 2 kind of lost me a little bit, and this didn't do anything to get me back on board.
What is that show? Because here's literally the only thing I know about it. Somebody who I've given my Netflix password to is watching. I don't even know who I've given it
to.
So
Big Mouth is about kids in puberty, and basically puberty is then humanized by a monster that follows them around. And it just goes through, these experiences everybody can relate to.
Yeah.
Right.
In a very vulgar way.
Right. It's specifically it's specifically targeting kind of the taboo aspects of puberty that everyone's embarrassed about, but is also everyone
A
experiences.
dude jacks off to a clock in it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's not for me. That does not. I don't even like the word puberty.
It's hilarious.
I mean, the voice cast is incredible. Nick Kroll plays a bunch of people. John Mulaney is the other lead. Maya Rudolph is one of the hormone monsters. It's all comedians that you like.
I do like Mulaney a lot, and I've warmed up to Nick Kroll. I used to fucking hate
Have
him.
you guys? God damn it! This is gonna go on for fucking ever. Have you guys seen their 2-man Broadway show? Where they're just old men for no reason.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
You have seen it?
I've seen some of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
If you have it and you like those 2 guys, you should. Just because it's a play where I feel like they just decided, here's the things we think are funny, and we don't give a fuck if you laugh or not.
Either way, I guess it's better than Transformers.
I'm not sure. I thought it was worse than Transformers.
But it's just hard to say. It didn't win me over. I'm still going to keep watching.
Yeah,
it didn't
same here.
lose me, but the missteps they took in season 2 have just kind of continued in that hour-long episode.
Yeah.
But that's it.
All right. So next week, there's Captain Marvel. I just realized I keep forgetting that's fucking coming up.
It came up really fast.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll get to do our first fucking movie review in a long time.
Since Spider-Man.
I'm really excited about it.
I haven't done one. I wasn't here for Spider-Man, so it's been
a while.
I don't even know.
This isn't even that show to you.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, thank you guys for listening. Please rate, subscribe, tell your friends. If you want to get in touch with us, you can reach us at betterthantransformers@gmail.com. We also have a contact form at realphonies.com where you can reach us, which is probably easier than remembering betterthantransformers@gmail.com, but I say that one first. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at realphonies and on our new Instagram, which Christian's doing a great job on.
Ian's helped a little bit.
Try to do more.
At real_phonies. Thanks again one more time to everyone that we interviewed and talked to at Pensacon. We really appreciate you taking your time to talk to us. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We enjoyed getting to talk to you. Thanks to Zach Evans for art and Brian Velasquez for our theme, and we'll see you guys next week.